Hey everybody, it's Derek and welcome back to CRM Tip of the Day's Video Tips, your source for tips and step-by-step instruction on the latest version of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about the new mobile or visual controls, as they're called, within CRM 2016. And basically what it boils down to is, they've put a lot of time and effort into streamlining the tablet and the mobile applications to make it much easier for people to work with CRM on a mobile device. And so one of the things that they wanted to do is, obviously the experience is a little bit different and you have a less space to deal with in some cases, and it's a touch optimized environment. So they wanted to create controls that could push over into the mobile and tablet devices that would accentuate what it is that you're trying to do. So there's a variety of different controls that you can use, such as if you're doing a monetary value, they have, different slider controls or different arc knob controls that you can use to just using your finger to just go ahead and define, what the credit limit might be for that particular situation. They've got website preview scenarios. So if it's a website type of scenario, they even have some input masking scenarios. So when you're putting information into fields, it will kind of predetermine that information and input that as stuff accordingly. So depending upon the type of field that you're working with, when you're customizing your information, you have different types of controls that you can bring into those items and then ultimately use that information on the mobile device that you choose. And so they give you a couple of different options in regards to configuring it, because you can actually configure whether or not you want to use that specific control on the mobile device or on a tablet client or the phone client. So you could actually have, a different control being used in a different interface depending upon what it is that you want to do. So that's a little bit on what we want to talk about on this video. So let's go ahead and just kind of show you how this works. So I'm back in CRM and I'm going to just go ahead and go into kind of my standardized customizations area. So I'm going to go into solutions and just open up a pre-existing solution that I've been working with. So we'll open up the tip of the day solution, and it's done through the form customization interface. So again, I'm going to expand my entities that are in my solution, and depending upon what it is that I want to work with for that particular option, I'll go ahead and expand account just to kind of demo this information. And then I'll expand the forms area that we want to work with. And then I'll just go ahead and open up kind of the standard account form so we can customize that and show you how that process or what that process looks like. So again, it's using the same form customization interface that you've used in the past. You just now have the capabilities to kind of determine what it is that you want to do. Now, keep in mind that not all of these quote unquote visual controls, as we talk about, are going to be available for every single field type based upon the field type. So there's going to be specific field type or field controls based upon the option that you want to work with. So let's just go ahead and, for starters, let's use the credit limit field. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the credit limit field and I'm going to move it over just into this account information area. So I'm going to go ahead and add this field, and I'll double click on it to open up the properties. And then one of the new tabs that you'll see is a controls tab. And so this is where you can define what it is that you want to use. Now, right now, it's just going to use kind of the standard CRM label and text box information, both on the phone and the tablet client, so they could just type the information in. What you have the capabilities to do based upon the fact that it's a currency field is I can come in here now and I have different types of controls that I can choose to use. So I can come in here and I can determine, what specific type of situation I want to use based upon those areas. So I can say, okay, well, I just want them to use kind of a linear slider so they can use their finger to slide across the interface. So I'm going to go ahead and add that control. Now, one of the first things that you'll see here is I have the capabilities to determine whether or not I want it to work on the phone client or the tablet client, or both. So I can pick and choose at this point what I want to use. So right now on the phone client, it's just using the default label. If I wanted to push this over to the phone, I could go ahead and pick the option that I wanted to use here. And then if I wanted to, per se, maybe have another control that is more in line with maybe the tablet experience, I could add that control and then elect to use that particular option for the tablet client if I wanted to. In this case, we'll just go ahead and use both. Now, the big thing that you have to do here is kind of decide how you want them to work with this. So, in this case, it's a credit limit. What do we offer our customers from a credit limit? It could be anywhere from $0 to, $100,000, depending upon the type of environment that we're working with. So one of the things that you can do in here now is you can configure the minimum values, maximum values, and then how you want that to step up as they slide through using this control. So now I could come in here, choose minimum, and I can bind this to a specific value on a field, so I can actually look at other fields on this, and I can use that as kind of a baseline scenario. So if you're doing calculations, based upon income or something like that, maybe you've got some calculated fields that, look at their annual income as an organization and then give you kind of a baseline for a credit limit or something like that. You could do that, or you could just come in and choose a static value, which in this case is what we'll do. Bind it to a static value. There's a few different options here based upon the type of the field that it is. In this case, we'll just make it a currency and we'll just bind it to 0. So we give them basically a minimum of no credit limit with us from an application perspective. From a maximum standpoint, we're going to say that we'll give them a maximum credit limit of $25,000. So I'll say 25,000 here, and then I'll go ahead and click on OK. And then the final piece to this is the step. So as I'm sliding this across, what interval do I want to use? In this case, maybe just because it is a larger number and I don't want them to have to scroll a whole lot, I'll maybe go ahead and bind this to a currency value again, and maybe I'll say that the step value here is going to be $2,500. And then I could go ahead and click on OK. And once you have that configured, now you can just go ahead and click on OK. Or if I wanted to have a different control type for the tablet environment, I could then go ahead and specify that information as well. Then I could go ahead and click on OK, and that'll go ahead and lock this in. Now remember, there's going to be different types of controls based upon the situation that you're working with. So for example, if I go into phone number and I double click on phone number, I could go ahead and open this up, and I will see that there's a control option here. And when I hit add control, there's an input mask option. And this is where I could actually go in and determine what type of input masking I want to use. So as they're entering a phone number in, I could actually pre-populate some of that information and determine exactly what I want them to be able to do in those situations. So it gives me kind of a nice, situation that I could work with in that option. Now the other scenario, I could go in here to a website. I could open up website, go into controls, and I could actually choose to have a kind of a website preview option. And so there's some multimedia controls where I could actually have like a YouTube video or some type of video that would be displayed in this scenario, or I would actually have the capabilities, like I said, to do a website preview where I could actually have it preview the URL for the organization that I'm working with in this scenario. Could go ahead and hit add, and then in this case I don't really have to do a lot of configuration, but maybe I only want it to be displayed on the tablet client as I'm working forward. And then there's additional ones. There's calendar controls, and you even have some options to work with different things from here. And the nice thing is, as developers, you also have the capabilities to work with these custom controls. So it's just kind of a nice situation that you guys can work with. It's definitely something that I would recommend playing with it. We've used it in a few deployments at this point, and it works very well. So it's just a really cool feature, particularly if you have a lot of customers who are using the mobile clients, that I wanted to at least call out and recommend to everybody. So there you have it. There's our little demonstration on the new visual control feature available for CRM 2016. As you can see, it provides a nice way to add a little bit more interactivity and flexibility when you are deploying both the tablet and the phone client to your users. Like always, I want to just say thank you very much for watching, and for all of us here at CRM Tip of the Day, this has been Derek, and take care everybody and have a good one.